Symbiosis Law School, Legal Aid Center. I am Group Captain Anand Naidu, served the Air Force as Director Personnel. Thereafter, I was Additional DG in Doordarshan and All India Radio for 5 years. Presently, I am an adjunct professor with Nalsar University of Law, teaching aviation laws, and one of the directors of Information Sharing and Analysis Center, a non-profit organization working in the field of cybersecurity. First of all, many congratulations and greetings to the Women's Safety Wing, of course the Telangana State Police led by the DG himself from the front, the Additional DGP, Miss Swati Lakra, Mrs. Sumati. All of them have led from the front and put in an excellent campaign. It started on 15th of July and it's on, and the kind of response it is receiving. As one of the partners for this campaign and this whole movement, ISAC, we are very, very happy to see the kind of response that this whole campaign is receiving. You name a person, a personality in the cybersecurity profession, many people from the film industry, similarly, many officials from the government, they were all part of this campaign. And most importantly, the timing of the campaign is so very important. Because of the corona pandemic, we have seen enhanced cyber attacks. All kinds of attacks are taking place rapidly, randomly, on a regular basis, especially against India, because of various other national security reasons as well. Now, all in all, this period has been very closed corridors and some offices only. Today, this aspect, I do not know if I use the word, Telugu word, how many of the people will understand, Antarjala Bhadrata. So cyber security has caught the attention of one and all. The people, even illiterate people, have started talking about protecting their bank transactions, the money in the banks from the financial frauds and online frauds that are taking place. Villagers are talking about protecting their cell phone being hacked. Courtesy Telangana State Police, I think this phrase cyber security has gone to the nook and corner of both Telugu speaking states, and this campaign is drawing attention even at the national level. Today I was sometime back I was with the DG NCIIPC. I will talk about the NCIIPC a little while later. And even there was a discussion, and I must tell you that this campaign is really drawing attention of a lot of people. Now, while we talk about the national cyber security of my country, my cyberspace, I would give a little background for a few seconds. As per the IT laws, we have two nodal agencies after the Amendment Act to IT Act. One is NCIIPC, that is National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center, NCIIPC. Remember, critical information infrastructure, CII is a very common phrase, critical information infrastructure. That infrastructure which is critical for us, for the nation as a whole. That is one, NCIIPC. The other nodal agency is CERT-IN, Computer Emergency Response Team. The Emergency Response Team India is the other nodal agency created under the IT laws for the safety of the cyberspace, the protection of the cyberspace. The NCIPC is the nodal agency to identify the critical information infrastructure, CII sectors, sector-wise they identify, they notify through the Gazette of India, they notify through the memorandums of office memorandums, and they prepare some of the sectors to be notified in future as critical information infrastructure. Now, when a sector is identified as critical from the national cyber protection point of view, there is enhanced security measures are put in place, the policy and the processes are accordingly tuned. This is what the NCIIPC is. And the other agency, as I mentioned, CERT-IN. CERT-IN is for the emergency response. Most of its focus is on forensics, forensic investigation, forensic audits, supporting the organizations which have been attacked to make sure that the damage is mitigated, the damage is reduced, the damage is prevented. Similarly, if one organization is attacked or one website is attacked or one person is attacked, those vectors, that intelligence, threat intelligence that is known as, that intelligence is shared with all the agencies so that other organizations are careful, they fine tune their systems, processes, and sensitize the people who are in charge of the cyber security. Okay, now coming to the today's topic, these two agencies are responsible for two different aspects, but there are commonalities in their function. There is no overlap. There is only commonality and absolute cohesion and synergy between the two agencies they work. And we from the ISAC, we are proud to say that we are public-private partner of NCIIPC, sharing their load in capacity building, and we are MOU partner of Computer Emergency Response Team India. In conducting some of their activities, we also conduct some seminars, some workshops, defend the flag and other events and the like. This is what is about the background. Now coming to the Indian status broadly. Some of you may be aware that in the last Israeli election, the Prime Minister has given a lot of thrust on his achievements in the cyber security space as an election campaign point. Imagine the country which is very small but having maximum cybersecurity professionals, maximum cybersecurity companies in the world. Almost in all countries, Israeli companies are present in cybersecurity space. In India also, we have a large presence of Israeli companies, large presence of their technologies, because they're good and they have focused it over a period of time. They have developed this resilience, this strength. The technologies have been developed over a period of time. Now, when we come to India, we have not been so fortunate, but there is a lot of thrust that is being given now towards cyber security, capacity building, and resilience. And the students who are now listening to me, I'm sure some of you will turn out to be the cyber security warriors of the future, protecting our critical information as well as protecting our society, protecting our people, protecting our systems from being hacked, from being attacked. We have today Karthik, the speaker for today, Karthik Verma. He is Chief Technology Officer of Tactical Cyber and Simulations Private Limited, and also Advisor Technology for the Information Sharing and Analysis Center. He very actively is involved in designing and creation of content for national security database training programs, where there are different kinds of trainings in different fields, different specializations. So we are we will be listening to him. He is also NSD Falcon. That is the highest rating in under National Security Database certification process. And he is, I can proudly say that he is probably amongst the top 20-25 cybersecurity professionals in India. He is very actively associated himself with creation of virtual labs on cloud, and there are some more systems that he's created, which are absolutely fantastic, latest in terms of technology, in terms of utility. No, without wasting any more time of mine on this background information and the introduction, I now request Karthik Verma. The format for today's discussions will be, I will be asking some questions to tune in onto the topic, bring him onto the topic. After that, we will have question and answer sessions. You may please post your question and answer sessions as and when you want to in the Q&A section, so that we can take those questions in between. That's one request. Second request is, those of you who are not required to speak, may please put your mic as well as the video on mute mode. That's my humble request. And if someone has to really speak, you may please do so when Harshita allows you to do it. Karthik, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm there. Hope you are able to hear me.
Yes, Karthik, you are very loud and clear. And thank you very much for joining, Karthik. How are you keeping?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for hosting me, first of all, and congratulations to Telangana State Police for organizing such a wonderful event. And I congratulate each and every one of the panelists actually, in making this event successful. Thanks, thanks again for welcoming us.
We have a lot of enthusiastic students who want to listen to you, Karthik, and listen to you from 3-4 broad themes. One is how cybersecurity is impacting the national security. 2, what is the status of cybersecurity trainings and what are the levels? Similarly, what are the qualifications that are required to become a good cybersecurity professional? What are the job opportunities that they have? And I am very keen to ask you about the status of women and how best we can have more number of women in the cybersecurity field, how this field suits women more than the men, how they are better at doing this job than men, if it is so. That is my feeling. So these are the broad themes that we would be discussing on, Karthik. This is what it is. Now, to begin with, please explain to us what are the technical and technological challenges that are there as far as Indian cybersecurity space is concerned. Are we at par with the other countries as far as our technology is concerned? Thereafter, the processes I will talk, and then we will talk about the people. Okay, can you please explain this to us?
Sure, sir. Starting with the technological.
Video on.
Sorry, sir.
Your video is not coming on.
Achha, one second, sir. I'm not getting an option actually.
Okay, fine. If it is not there, then continue. Please continue. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah. So, whether we are fully resilient in cyberspace, I would say no, sir. And for that matter, it's not just our state or our country. Speaking in terms of the entire worldwide kind of security, there are only few companies which are able to thwart cybersecurity issues in a very practical manner. But when it comes to other organizations, every organization is struggling to keep up with these kinds of cybersecurity issues. And again, cybersecurity is such an issue or such a topic where it's like a rat's race, sir. So it's like it's a cat and mouse actually. It's Tom and Jerry kind of show that we always put up with each other. So the defense guys which are there working for a company, they always try to protect an infrastructure, and the hackers are kind of creative guys who always come up with some or the other way to break that infrastructure. So there is a cat and mouse game, and to keep up with this cat and mouse game, especially for the defense guys, or the people in the administration department or in the defense department, it is a huge challenge for any organization or any country across the world. So if you take US, which is digitally or electronically, which is far ahead than most of the other countries, you can see that there are a lot of cyber security incidents that keep happening in US or for that matter any other country. So whether it is a developing country or whether it is a developed country, so I mean everybody is bound to face these kinds of issues. It's just that one is just a little bit better protected than others, but on a holistic view, the cyber security struggles are always there, sir. So and again, and the main reason is because as I said, it's a rat and mouse issue. So you come up with a patch, and my only goal is to break that patch. So that thing will always stay.
Agree. Okay. Now, when we talk about the frameworks and the processes, Karthik,
Yes.
How well off are we? Our frameworks, our regulations, our laws, are they in tune with the times? Are they meeting our demands, our requirements as on date? Are we protected well as far as these issues are concerned, the processes and the regulatory issues? I know,
Yeah.
as back as Kargil Review Committee in 1999, they made a lot of recommendations. Thereafter, we had, of course, the IT Act 2000, IT Act Amendment Act 2008, and the regulations, and thereafter, of course, the policy. We had 2014 NCIPC coming into play. They're all there. But what do you think the processes are there strong enough? Are they good enough? Are the frameworks good enough in India?
Yes, sir. So as you are aware, our IT Act, law, and the amendments made to it are, pretty good, and it is they are in par with.
We missed your voice. We are
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
now we can hear you, Karthik. Yeah.
Sure, sir. I was saying that on paper, at least if you talk about IT Act law or the mandate given to our organizations such as NTRO, NCIPC, or certain. So the mandates are quite good. So the policies are definitely there. So the way that we are handling CII especially is quite good. And we have to definitely congratulate NCIPC and specifically NTRO and certain these three organizations. So because they have been actively participating, they have been actively working with a lot of public and private industries to make sure that they can train the workforce efficiently, as well as make sure that the security of each and every organization is up to the mark. So it is definitely there, sir. But when it comes to the issues of a common citizen, so when we talk about cyber crimes that are related to financial frauds or cyberbullying or such frauds, so that is where I believe we are lacking a lot because primarily we are a overpopulated country, and for such a population, for such a large number of complaints that we usually receive at the cybercrime center, handling these kinds of cyber crimes is has always been an issue. At least in the last 3 years, we have seen there's a severe crunch.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. I request Karthik sir to turn on your video. We have given you the presenter access, sir. Also, the quiz 1 is live. We shall be closing it in another 1 minute. So I request all the participants to take the quiz in the next 1 minute.
Sure, Hajita. So you can please instruct them how to take the quiz.
Yes, I've put the link in the chat. Request all of you to take the quiz using the Google form.
Karthik, you guys switch on your video.
Yeah, sir.
And please continue.
Yeah, just give me a second, sir. I'm just trying to turn on video.
Please do.
Hajita, if you can help me, I have no option to actually share my video. So can you help me out here?
Yes, sir, you have made the presenter. There's an option called mute, unmute, and there's beside that they start my video, sir.
Yeah, actually that option I usually get, but in this case, I'm not able to see that option. So should I disconnect and connect back again?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just connecting back.
Okay, while Karthik is reconnecting with us, now the framework as far as the IT law is concerned, there are two elements to it. One is, generally, I'm just filling up the gap. One is cyber contraventions and cyber crimes. Now, cyber contraventions are those acts or omissions which do not fall into the criminal domain. Cyber crimes are criminal acts or omissions. So that is the main difference. Contraventions generally involve compensation, whereas cyber crimes, when someone is involving himself in a cyber crime, he can be jailed. That's the broad difference between the contraventions and the cyber crimes. One is almost like a civil wrong. The contraventions are like civil wrongs, and cyber crimes are earlier we used to have the IPC being applied before the cyber laws came into act. Karthik, are you there? Karthik, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yeah, sir. Hope you are able to hear and see me.
Not see, only hear.
Uh,
Yes, we can
Yes.
see you and hear you now. Yeah,
Great, sir.
go ahead.
Sure, sir. So I was talking about, what is our capability in actually handling cybercrime cases when when we talk about citizens cases. We talk about industrial cases, definitely we have a good amount of security. We have good amount of oversight in terms of, certain or, NCIPC or, NTRO kind of organizations. Yeah, as I said, when it comes to citizens or netizens specifically, so we have a lot of issues because we have a lot of manpower scarcity in this particular area. So the cyberbullying, when you talk about cyberbullying or when you talk about financial frauds, for example, we have seen UPI frauds have rised a lot in the last 6 to 7 months because so everybody starts a campaign. For example, I know one example that I can give you is we're working with a non-profit spiritual organization. So they are our client actually. So they actually conduct a lot of public meetings or kind of public donations kind of
Yeah.
activities. So as soon as they start an activity, as soon as they call for activities, you can see that there are 10 other campaigns which start up and they start virally going out in Facebook, WhatsApp, and other media. And people, because they don't have actually the time to verify each and every link, so they blindly accept requests or they donate to organizations which are actually false.
So you're referring to the similar looking links and all that URLs.
Correct, sir. So similar to looking UPI IDs maybe. So for example, we have seen in the case of PM Modi's fund also. So PM Modi releases a video saying that please donate for this mishap that has happened or something like that. And lookalike UPI IDs will be created because everybody can actually create their own UPI IDs with any name they want. So lookalike UPI IDs can be created by anyone. They are kind of sharing it and making it viral on WhatsApp or such kind of videos, and people are falling prey to it. So it is these kinds of issues that we have to solve, which are causing a lot of, cyber crimes which is directly related to citizens or netizens. So in this case, is definitely a huge problem that we have to still tackle, sir.
యా ఐ అగ్రీ. నేను దూరదర్శన్లో పనిచేసినప్పుడు చూశాను. పాట్నా దూరదర్శన్ ఆ వెబ్ యూఆర్ఎల్తో 13 సైట్లు ఉన్నాయి. దేర్ వర్ 30 sites similar looking, almost same. One letter is missing or one dot is extra, that kind. 13 sites, all of them were making money on the name of Doordarshan Patna. Yeah, I can understand because I have gone through it, and then we had to write to the police, chase them literally to get those sites closed was a massive task. It was a massive task because that time the awareness was very less. Now, of course, we have the cybercrime gov.in website and other websites. The cyber cells are very active. So that's very nice. Now, the next point that I want to ask you, Karthik, is market solutions and the services. How are we comparatively?
Yes, sir. So again, as I've said, sir, we're talking about two different things here. So one is industry and
Yeah.
one is about the citizens actually. So when we talk about industrial security, yes, we have beautiful and wonderful products which are out in the market. So we have EDR kind of solutions which can protect your business. They can actually see if somebody is sending a phishing mail or a phishing message to you. So there are enterprise applications which can actually detect if you have received an SMS in the name of your vendor or other company or partner, and they can actually detect and stop you saying that this is a malicious SMS or malicious link. But yes, sir, when it comes to citizens, yes, we do not have these kinds of market solutions, sir. So we are still working with a lot of partner companies, and we ourselves, our company is developing WhatsApp chat bots actually, so that they can help people in basically looking at whether a forwarded message is true or not. So we need applications which which will tell whether a particular message is genuine or not just by looking at it. So they don't have to actually spend a lot of time in figuring it out, okay, whether this message is genuine or not. So
I,
as
I
you,
just want to ask,
yeah,
I just want to ask you, anyone and everyone can make an app and just release it. Is there any
exactly, sir.
is
That
there
is
any
also.
requirement? Is there any requirement for registering those apps? Do you think that would probably help?
No, sir, not at all. Sir, for example, if you sir and play.google.com lo, all you have to pay is 7,000 rupees.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
see, any hacker or attacker or malicious person, 7,000 rupal is a very small amount of money.
Right.
So I can create tens and hundreds of accounts with that 7,000 rupees. And once I have that 7,000 rupees, I can actually publish hundreds of apps. So again, ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది అంటే depending on publicity. For example, if the app is unfortunately viral and it has become too public, only then the attacker will lose his access to that account, because Google will come to know and they will ban that app.
So
But
as
recently,
long as he silently milks money, no problem.
no problem, sir. Matlab, అంటే మీరు ఇప్పుడు చూసారు అనుకోండి, we have apps which have been created in 2013 and 2014. And one major problem with App Store or Google Play Store is that the longer they are, the more trust they actually earn. And see, a partner who is with you for almost 7 or 8 years, you'll trust him more, right? Which
Yes,
means that if you want to ban that app, even Google thinks twice.
That's
So that is the kind of issues that we are facing. So this is again, people are taking advantage of this. So they can release an app. Apps can be made in a day or two. ఒక్కరోజు చాలండి యాక్చువల్గా యాప్ తయారు చేసి రిలీజ్ అవ్వడానికి. అండ్ యాజ్ ఆఫ్ సైడ్ ద లాస్ట్ 3 years నుంచి వీఆర్ ట్రాకింగ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ యాప్స్, అండ్ దీస్ యాప్స్ హ్యావ్ వెరీ లో పబ్లిసిటీ, విచ్ మీన్స్ దాట్ ద టార్గెట్ రేంజ్ ఇస్ వెరీ స్మాల్. అంటే వాళ్ళు కొంతమందినే టార్గెట్ చేస్తారండి, ఒక 100 members నో, 200 members నో, 300 members నో, అండ్ దిల్ డిలీట్ ది యాప్.
okay. They close the app.
They'll close the app, they'll delete the app. In sometimes we have seen that they'll even close the accounts. సో ఆ గూగుల్ అకౌంట్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అవి క్లోజ్ చేసేస్తారండి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 6 months క్యాంపెయిన్ రన్ చేస్తారనమాట. సో ఈ 6 months క్యాంపెయిన్ లో యూ మేక్ అ న్యూ అకౌంట్, యూ పే టు ద గూగుల్ ప్లే స్టోర్, యూ రిలీజ్ 2-3 apps, యూ మేక్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ఫ్రాడ్, అంటే ఫినాన్షియల్ ఫ్రాడ్ కావచ్చు, యూపీఐ బేస్డ్ ఫ్రాడ్స్ కావచ్చు, లేదా మెసేజ్ కి సంబంధించి కావచ్చు, లేదా మాల్వేర్ అంటే స్పైయింగ్, సో స్పైయింగ్ కి సంబంధించి యాప్స్ కావచ్చు. వీ హావ్ సీన్ దీస్ కైండ్స్ ఆఫ్ యాప్స్. అంటే వీళ్ళు స్పెసిఫిక్ పీపుల్ ని టార్గెట్ చేస్తారనమాట. వాళ్ళకి ఒక గోల్ ఉంటుంది, ఒక 5,000 people ని టార్గెట్ చేయాలి, 10,000 people ని టార్గెట్ చేయాలి అని. సో వన్స్ దే రిసీవ్ ఆర్ establish that target, right, they'll immediately delete the accounts, delete the apps, and they'll make a new app. They'll come as a new person. So this is the most toughest challenge for attackers or people like us. So ఇలాంటివి ట్రాక్ చేయడం అనేది it is very difficult because there are hundreds and thousands of apps on Play Store. సో అసలు కనిపెట్టడం ఒక ఎత్తు అయితే దాన్ని ఒక్కొక్కటి అనలైజ్ చేయడం అనేది ఇట్స్ అగైన్ a different challenge to us. So these are the current issues that we have seen. So again, as I said, mass apps ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి, వైరల్ అయిపోయింది బాగా అనుకోండి, that is very easy because అవి టెస్ట్ చేయడం కానీ అవి బ్యాన్ చేయడం కానీ it becomes very easy. But these are the things which become very difficult for us.
Tell us about the cybercrime investigations, the forensics, the audits. How are we? How are we placed? How good are people? How are our companies doing?
Again, sir, cyber security may choose comparatively. See, even though we are an IT giant as a country, we are an IT giant. సైబర్ సెక్యూరిటీకి సంబంధించి ఇఫ్ యూ సీ ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ లైక్ అస్ ఆర్ కంపెనీస్ లైక్ అస్ are very small. Actually, వేల మీద లెక్క పెట్టాడు సార్. Not more than 8 or 9 companies are there in the entire country which are actually in par with the security standards.
India and Indian thing only these many.
Only India, sir. ఇప్పుడు మీరు IT companies చూసారు అనుకోండి, there are about 8,000 IT companies in India. I mean, which are well known and which have good revenues అన్నమాట. అంటే అట్లీస్ట్ క్రోర్స్ లో ఉన్న రెవెన్యూస్ అరౌండ్ 8,000 కంపెనీస్ ఉన్నాయండి. వెరెన్ దే హ్యావ్ సమ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ IT టచ్ అనేది వాళ్ళకు ఉంది. సో అట్లాంటిది సైబర్ సెక్యూరిటీకి వచ్చేటప్పటికి దేర్ ఆర్ ఓన్లీ టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ కంపెనీస్. సో టోటలీ దేర్ ఆర్ అరౌండ్ 28 ఆర్ 29 కంపెనీస్ ఉన్నాయి. బట్ అగైన్ అందులో కూడా ఇఫ్ యూ ర్యాంక్ దెమ్ దేర్ ఆర్ ఓన్లీ టాప్ 8 ఆర్ టాప్ 9 కంపెనీస్ విచ్ యూజువలీ బ్యాగ్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద ప్రాజెక్ట్స్. అంటే క్రిటికల్ సెక్టర్స్ మీరు చూసారు అనుకోండి, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ బ్యాంక్స్ ఉన్నాయి అనుకోండి. సో బ్యాంక్స్ కి సర్వ్ చేసే వాళ్ళు కానీ, లేదా లార్జ్ ఐటీ ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ కంపెనీస్ కి సర్వ్ చేసే వాళ్ళు కానీ, ఇలాంటి కంపెనీస్ కి సర్వ్ చేసే వాళ్ళు దే ఆర్ వెరీ లెస్. దెర్ ఆర్ 8 or 9 ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్. అండ్ అగైన్ ద మెయిన్ రీజన్ ఈస్ బికాస్ స్కిల్స్ అండి. సో ఐటీలో మనకి డిఫరెన్స్ ఏమవుతుంది అంటే, ఐటీలో ఐ కెన్ టేక్ ఎనీబడి. సో ఏదైనా గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ ఉన్నాడు అనుకోండి, ఐ కెన్ టేక్ హిమ్ అండ్ ఐ కెన్ ట్రైన్ హిమ్ ఫర్ అరౌండ్ 3 months. అమీర్పేటలో మీరు చూసే ఉన్నారు. So almost 10,000 people are there on the streets of Amirpet. Yes. So 3 months me training తీసుకుంటే at least you can start developing apps అన్నమాట. But one challenge in cyber security is it needs more dedication. Okay. So see, it's not like it's tough for something. ఇది టఫ్ కాదండి. మీరు ఐటీలో ఒక అప్లికేషన్ తయారు చేసే అంత స్కిల్ మీకు ఉంది అనుకుంటే you can definitely come to cyber security also. But the only problem is dedication. So we cannot be on a ఫ్రీ విల్ అనమాట. అంటే ఒక 6 గంటలు పని చేసి నేను వదిలేస్తాను, ఐ లుక్ అట్ మై లైఫ్ అనుకునే వాళ్ళు దే నాట్ బి ఈజీలీ సక్సెస్ఫుల్ ఇన్ దిస్ ఏరియా. సో అలాంటి వాళ్ళు
precisely. In fact, today I was with DG NCAPC and he was saying, here I am finding it very difficult to get some guys, good guys. Give me some good guys. I mean, the highest body in India, they are saying, give me some good guys. So there is dearth. What does it take to be a cyber security professionals in terms of qualification? Do you say, okay, these are the qualities or qualifications that are required before one tries to be a cyber security professional?
సో సింపుల్ థింగ్. సో మనకి తెలుగులో ఒక సామెత ఉందండి, ముళ్ళుని ముళ్ళుతోనే తీయాలి అని. సో యా, సో ఇట్స్ లైక్ టెక్నాలజీ కన్నా మోర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఏంటి అంటే థాట్ ప్రాసెస్ అండి. సో ఇట్స్ లైక్ క్రియేటివిటీ ఉండాలన్నమాట మనకి. So see, the hacker is the most creative person you can find. Okay. Right? So he'll come up with creative thoughts and creative experiments that he'll perform on you. Right? So we should have that creativity in us so that we can anticipate what is the attack he is going to do. Ante see manaki say as a defense person we have 10 things to protect. బట్ అటాక్ ఏంటి అంటే ఈ జస్ట్ నీడ్స్ వన్ పాత్ అనమాట. ఒక్క పాత్ తనకి దొరికింది అనుకోండి, హీల్ జస్ట్ కమ్ ఇన్ టు దట్ పాత్ అండ్ హీల్ బ్రేక్ ద డోర్స్ అండ్ హీల్ హ్యాక్ ఇన్ టు యువర్ సిస్టమ్. సో ఇన్ ద సేమ్ వే సిటిజన్స్ లో కూడా ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఏంటి అంటే, I don't know how many of the participants have seen this show called Jamtara. So Amazon lono, Netflix lono, there's a show called Jamtara. So you see that, yeah. So the cyber security antam kani, it's mostly social engineering activity only.
Yeah, they are all not very highly educated. They are very common. Yes. I have recordings of 4 or 5 of the hackers. I mean, if I probably have to interview them and select them for a job, I would say no, they won't fit in. But they're doing extremely. So you carry on, please.
Yes, sir. So as I said, it's creativity which is most important. So technology definitely ga kavalandi. So basic technological skills manaki definitely ga kavali. But apart from that, at least majority of cyber crimes ni, if you want to actually handle, then we need persons who are creative enough, who can think that how a crime can actually be done and how can you stop it. Ante anticipation anedi kavalandi. So ipudu oka company undi, for example NPCI UPI ni introduce chesindi. So alantappudu we should have people who can think how to defeat this UBI. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం ఉన్నాం అనుకోండి మన సైడ్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ on the defense side, if we have lot of people who can think what are the different ways to defeat UPI, అంటే యూపీఐని ఎన్ని డిఫరెంట్ వేస్ లో మనం అబ్యూస్ చేయొచ్చు అన్న థాట్స్ మనకు వచ్చాయి అనుకోండి, సొల్యూషన్స్ తీసుకురావడం మనకి పెద్ద పని కాదండి. సో ఇఫ్ యూ సే దట్ ఈ ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది అని మీరు ఒక ఎన్పిసిఐకి ఒక లెటర్ రాశారు అనుకోండి, దే విల్ ఫిక్స్ ఇట్ ఇన్ అ వీక్. సో ఇలాంటి ఫ్రాడ్ ఒకటి జరుగుతుందని మీరు ఈ రోజు కూడా ఎవరైనా చెప్పారు అనుకోండి, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ న్యూస్ లో అది పెద్ద అనుకోండి, వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇట్ ఇస్. సో విత్ ఇన్ 1 week దే రిలీజ్ అ ప్యాచ్. See, solutions provide చేయడం మనకు కష్టం కాదండి, బట్ సొల్యూషన్స్ ఐడెంటిఫై చేయడం ఇస్ ది మోస్ట్ ఛాలెంజింగ్ పార్ట్ ఓవర్ హియర్. సో దానికోసం we definitely need people who are creative enough, who can think for themselves, and basic technological skills అండి మీకు అంటే usually when we come to cyber security we talk about basic Python programming ఒకవేళ మీకు వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, బేసిక్ నెట్వర్కింగ్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అండి. సో ఒక అప్లికేషన్ ఉంది అనుకుంటే అది ఎలా పనిచేస్తుంది మీకు అర్థమైంది అంటే దట్ ఈస్ మోర్ దెన్ ఇనఫ్. So you will come to know how you can actually defeat it. So if you know the basic understandings of how a computer works, or how an application actually works, that is more than enough. So simple ga cheppali anukunte any computer security degree తీసుకున్న అతను కానీ, డిప్లొమా చేసిన అతను కానీ, లేదా బీటెక్ చేసిన అతను కానీ, they are far good enough అన్నమాట. So they have studied a lot more than what is required for cyber security. But the only thing is, yes, this creative thought is something which is lacking. And that is what is most important only. So that is where also what we are trying to do here is mana labs, and we have a product called virtual labs, or for example our trainings, మేము ఏదైతే trainings ఇస్తామో, that trainings are not technologically advanced, they are more like scenarios. So we present with hundreds and thousands of scenarios to you. ఈ సినారియోలో మీరు ఎలా ఒక సొల్యూషన్ ని ఐడెంటిఫై చేస్తారో లేదా ప్రాబ్లమ్ ని ఐడెంటిఫై చేస్తారో, దిస్ ఇస్ మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ అనమాట. సో ఇట్స్ లైక్ యూజువల్ గా వన్ ఆఫ్ ద సినారియోస్ ఎలా ఉంటాయి అంటే వీల్ షో ది డయాగ్రామ్ ఆఫ్ అ బ్యాంక్. సో ఈ బ్యాంక్ డయాగ్రామ్ వేసి మీరు దాన్ని ఎట్లా దొంగతనం చేస్తారు. సో దీస్ ఇస్ ది యూజువల్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అనమాట వీల్ ఆస్క్ పీపుల్. అంటే దే హావ్ టు కమ్ అప్ విత్ క్రియేటివ్ ఐడియాస్ ఆన్ హౌ అ థెఫ్ట్ కెన్ హ్యాపెన్ ఇన్ అ బ్యాంక్. సో ఇఫ్ దే కెన్ ఆన్సర్ ఇన్ అ క్రియేటివ్ మేనర్, దోస్ ఆర్ ద గాయ్స్ ఐ వాంట్ ఇన్ cyber security. So because he has the idea of how to defeat the technology, and then I can find any developer to actually find a solution for it. So that is how I look at cyber security. Yeah.
Understood. Okay. Now there are a lot of certifications. I hear CH and CISSP and CISP and all those things. What is your view, and what are the better certifications? Especially many students are participating in this webinar with a view to get your views on this and your advice.
Again, sir, so I don't want to market.
What do you say is best certificate or good certificate?
Correct, sir. So I don't want to market my own company, but I can pretty much confidently say that our IRAC certifications are on par with global certifications. సో అంటే మనకి సైబర్ సెక్యూరిటీ సర్టిఫికేషన్స్ చాలా ఉన్నాయండి. ఇప్పుడు హైదరాబాద్ లో కూడా మీరు చూసారంటే అమీర్పేటలో యూ కెన్ ఫైండ్ 4 or 5 organizations who are giving certificates. But I'll not name any company, but except one. So apart from ISAC, we have OSCP and Offensive Security Certified Professional, or Offensive Security is the company. So it is US based certification agency and I always take their name because I have a huge respect for them, and they are the first persons in this security field who has come up with such a elegant way of testing students' abilities. So they are the first persons who have introduced lab-based exams where there is no theory and there is nothing that you can write on the paper. So simple certifications ela untayi ante if you want a certificate, then you have to actually hack into the system or hack into the network. So for example, if you take OSCP, they actually give you a lab wherein you have around 10 to 15 systems anamata. You have 10 to 15 systems and you'll be given 24 hours to actually crack them. సో 24 hours అండి, మీరు ఎప్పుడు నిద్రపోతారో, ఎప్పుడు తింటారో, ఎప్పుడు తాగుతారో అది మీ ఇష్టము. సో బేసికలీ థింగ్స్ ఏంటి అంటే ఆ 24 hours లో యూ హ్యావ్ టు హ్యాక్ ఇన్ టు యాజ్ మెనీ సిస్టమ్స్ యాజ్ పాసిబుల్ అనమాట. అండ్ ఈవెన్ పాస్ పర్సెంటేజ్ కూడా ఇట్ విల్ బి 700 points అండి. సో ది ఎగ్జామ్ విల్ బి ఫర్ 1000 points and you have to earn at least 70% to get a certificate. And in the similar lines, for people in our country, ISAC, Information Sharing Analysis Center, we also have NSD, National Security Database Certifications. So we have different domains for it. We have penetration testing. We have web application penetration testing. We have mobile application security. We have digital forensics. We have threat hunting. We have incident response. And both offensive and defensive certifications unnayandi. And all our certification exams are the same. Ante instead of giving you multiple choice questions which are useless to anyone, ante employer ki kani employee ki kani iddarki panikravandi theory based exams kani. So we want people who can actually think and hack into organizations. And employers ఇప్పుడు మీరు చూసారు అనుకోండి, ఇప్పుడు for example we are working with Tata Communications, we are working with other enterprise companies. They are not taking people in cyber security who have passed some basic certifications. They are looking for certifications which have lab based exams. So labs అనేవి చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ అండి. If they have cracked a particular lab, wherein 5 systems కావచ్చు, 6 systems కావచ్చు, 10 systems కావచ్చు, if they have shown their practical skills, that is the people the employers want to take in. That is the people the HR is actually interested in. And even state police ఈ రోజు మీరు తీసుకున్నారనుకోండి, even the state police is actually preferring these kinds of people who has practical exposure to these kinds of tasks or exercises or scenarios. So ఇలాంటి scenarios కి ఎవరైతే practical exposures ఉన్నాయో, they are the ones who are much preferred అండి. So again, certifications, if you talk about, I'll definitely say about National Security Database certifications, which is given by ISAC. And global certifications koste, OSCP is one certification which I can definitely name. So apart from that, everybody has heard of SANS certification. So SANS certification is also very good. It is on par with OSCP. Not as good as OSCP, but definitely better. The only reason why most people would not want to go with SANS is because it is very expensive. So that's why we made sure that we have given NSD certifications at a very nominal price. But yes, sir. So any lab-based certifications unnayi anukunte, you should go with it. That's what companies usually prefer.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Karthik, recently we had some advertisement, government, public sector undertaking advertising the posts of cybersecurity professionals with 1 year to 5 years experience, lakh plus up to 3 lakh rupees per month salaries. What is the career profile, career path, and what can the students who are watching this webinar, what can they expect if they're good at it? Of course, they have to be good, like you said just now. What can they expect?
Yes, sir. So again, I know 3 lakhs anagane, I know everybody will be very excited.
Of course, I was very excited when I read that in the newspaper.
So everybody will feel that this is the future and this is where I should be. But again, I want to give a disclaimer that it is meant for everybody.
Give the status.
Correct, sir. So definitely, sir. See, cyber security, we have we are lacking in a people number of people who are in the field actually. So government themselves have come up with a figure that we need at least 3 lakh people in the cyber security field. But if you see the people who can actually earn 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs per month, they are the ones who have done multiple certifications, sir. So it's like మీరు ఒక penetration testing certificate తీసుకొని, if you expect that I'll get that amount of salary, that is not usually done, sir. So again,
what are the certifications?
So usually you have to be a multi-domain expert, sir. So cyber security lo enti ante, ippudu మీరు ఒక కంపెనీలోకి వెళ్ళారనుకోండి, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఒక ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ కంపెనీకి వెళ్ళారనుకోండి, టెక్ మహీంద్రాలోకి కానీ, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ టాటా కమ్యూనికేషన్స్ కానీ, TCS కి కానీ. See, TCS or any other enterprise company is not a small network. So for example, నేను బ్యాంకింగ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇస్తానండి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ICICI బ్యాంక్ మీరు తీసుకున్నారు అనుకోండి, ఇట్ హ్యాస్ 1 lakh employees అండి. So 1 lakh employees అంటే it's a huge infrastructure. So and you can expect that each and every employee in ICICI has a laptop or a desktop to work with, right? So even if you remove all of the basic utility guys and all of that stuff, we have at least 80,000 employees who have laptops or desktops with them. And there are hundreds of applications which are running in a bank, and each has its own infrastructure. And we have Linux infrastructure, we have Windows infrastructure, we have Macintosh people who are using, and servers ko chettappatiki we have lot of technologies andi. Konni applications Java meeda untayi, konni applications Python meeda untayi, konni applications PHP meeda untayi. So there are multiple applications also. అంటే ఒక టెక్నాలజీ స్టాక్ మీరు తీసుకున్నారు అనుకోండి, ఒక ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ కి మీరు వెళ్ళినప్పుడు there are huge number of technology stacks which are there. So most importantly, what companies are looking at is, if people has multiple certifications, then that is what they want to prefer. So if a person who is very good with Windows security as well as Linux security, he'll definitely have more preference. So ఇప్పుడు మీరు penetration testing తీసుకున్నారు అనుకోండి, it's a neutral certification అన్నమాట. I mean Windows కానీ Linux కానీ they'll do both in the certification. But you have to be better in one of the Windows security kani or Linux security kani. You have to be excelling in that manmada. That is more important. So Windows, Linux, Macintosh, technology stack, PHP, Java, ivanni meeku at least touch undali. I'm not saying that you have to be an expert in Java or you have to be an expert in PHP. So okayala meer chusinattlaithe no cyber security is guy is an expert in any of the languages. So ఇప్పుడు ఏ సైబర్ సెక్యూరిటీ, ఐ మీన్ టాప్ సైబర్ సెక్యూరిటీ ఎక్స్పర్ట్ ని తీసుకున్నారనుకోండి, ఇఫ్ యూ ఆస్క్ హిమ్ టు డెవలప్ ఎ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఇన్ జావా, తను చేయలేడండి. ఈవెన్ మీ So, even with all my experience, if you tell me to build a huge software, I'll not be able to build. But మీరు ఒక జావా ప్రోగ్రామ్ నాకు చూపించారు అనుకోండి, I can understand, how it works. I know what are the features, how they have built, and I can even see, what is the problem in the code. So that, I అంటారు కండి, I for it అని. So that I for it is something that we need, and observation skills. So if you can observe, if you can understand the logic, and if you can pinpoint the problem, that is what people are looking at. So ఒక జావా ప్రోగ్రామ్ చూసినా, ఒక పైథాన్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ చూసినా, ఒక PHP ప్రోగ్రామ్ చూసినా, you should see the logic, not the language. So adi choose, if you are able to pinpoint the problem, or if you are able to handle the problem, then those are the people we are looking at. And if I talk about my certifications, or OSCP certifications, that is what we test అండి. సో అక్కడ ఏంటి అంటే, మీరు అంటే ఇందాక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇచ్చాను కదా, 10 systems ఉంటాయని చెప్పి. ఆ 10 systems మనం ఎందుకు ఇస్తామంటే, దేర్ ఆర్ 10 different technology stacks అండి. So each computer that you are going to crack gives you a new challenge. So if you are able to solve that challenge, then you are in. So that is what is expected from the students. So if they're good at it, then they'll definitely get it.
Okay, before I ask about an important and very close to my heart topic, there is a question that has come. I want you to take this question. Is there any thumb rule, like when you download an app, to say, oh, this is good or this is bad? Is there any way we can just identify at a glance, or just before downloading? Is there anything that we can quickly put in as a check or a checklist to see this app is good or not? Is there any way?
Sir, there is no way, sir. Nobody can say you whether an app is good or bad. But అంటే కొన్ని చిన్న చిన్న గుర్తులు ఉన్నాయండి, which maybe you can look at. The thing is that whether it is coming from a genuine company or not. For example, if నాకు ఒక యాప్ ఉందనుకోండి, so maybe the app has more features than the other app, but the other app is publicized by a known company. Then I like to go with it. అంటే ఈ రోజు ఫీచర్స్ లేకపోయినా కూడా I'll try to go with a company which is known to me. So for example, ఇప్పుడు Google ఉందనుకోండి, so I trust Google more than any random developer. So I just have to check that, and is it a company which is known in the technology field or not, is something to look at. Again, ikkada problem undandi. Problem enti ante, for normal people this is difficult andi. So a person in the IT technology, ante IT lo unna vallaki it's very easy and they can Google cheyochu. Oka 5 minutes spend chesaru anukondi, they'll definitely know whether the app is good or not. But for a normal people, it becomes very difficult, Andy. So they definitely have to rely on some neutral platform to see whether it is good or not. And some tricks that I can give you is, for example, Google Play Store lo manam apps chustunnam anukondi, oka chinna guddi gurtu enti ante, if it is protected by Play Protect, then it is safe to install anamata. So because Google Play Store lo it is actually giving a feature called Play Protect anamata, which means that your app will be subjected to additional scrutiny from Google itself. So which means that Google will perform some checks on the app whether it is safe or not. Whether it is a small company who has made the app or whether it is a large company who has made the app. So if they give or submit the application to Play Store, then the మీరు download చేసుకునే app లో మీరు చూడొచ్చు, it says that it is protected by Play Protect anamata. So which means that it is already verified by a company like Google. So that is some things which you can download or at least use. Rest of the applications, there is definitely a risk because you will not be able to identify whether it is genuine or not. I'll definitely say you take an expert opinion before installing it.
Okay. So coming to the topic that I wanted to discuss with you, and many of the students also would be interested probably, is women. As of now, the strength of women in cybersecurity is quite less in terms of ratio. Why is it so? Are the women not? I thought they're creative. I thought they are multitasking always. I thought they are always multi-skilling. They have an eye for very minute details. They are always, while they are doing one thing, they are able to focus on 10 more things. Unlike you and me, we only focus on one thing. Why is it that the women are very less?
Sir, I guess we are supposed to be blamed for that, sir, because I guess we are not encouraging them. But so for example, మీరు US లో చూసారనుకోండి, US లో ఈ ప్రాబ్లం లేదండి. సో US లో సెక్యూరిటీ కమ్యూనిటీలో మీరు చూసారనుకోండి, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ if we go for a conference like DEFCON or these kinds of black hat kind of conferences, అక్కడ మీరు చూడొచ్చండి, more than 40% of the audience is actually women. So అక్కడ మీరు చూస్తే we don't have a problem that way, అండి. I guess
is there any inherent disqualification or anything like that, or just not being encouraged enough?
I guess, India we are not encouraging, and that's the only thing I can find, because, if you talk about the ability, women are far better than actual men. So ఎందుకంటే నా దగ్గర అంటే I mean in my career of cyber security, I have seen women. I also worked with women in cyber security. They are very good at it. ఎందుకంటే the first thing is their dedication అండి. So
Yeah.
we have 10 things to think. అంటే మనం ఒక పని చేస్తున్నాం అనుకోండి, we think about 10 things. So, but women are not like that. If they take up one thing, they are definitely into that anamata. So that quality is, there, for a woman, any part of the world. And so US lo తీసుకున్నా, Indian women తీసుకోండి, ఎవరైనా తీసుకోండి, women has that ability to actually stick to one thing and make sure, they get success.